For my entire 13-year career as a home inspector, I have not just performed home inspections, but I have fought and battled the entire real estate industry in regards to the collusive behavior that goes on between professionals to get buyers to spend their money on homes that they, generally speaking, wouldn't spend their money on if they got the right information. Now, today's video is getting moved up in the role and replacing insider trading for episode 3 because of its importance. I had an individual reach out to me because they had seen videos for episode 1 and 2, and they reached out and they wanted to do something to help me in regards to this. So they allowed me access to their home, they allowed me access to their attic. They also sat down with me and did a bit of an interview. I suspect that anybody out there watching these videos might say to themselves, well, Mark, why haven't you tried to file complaints with the regulatory bodies in your jurisdiction? I have. In my career, I filed 5 complaints. They were not just complaints that were he said, she said. There was literal evidence that went into those complaints, and the regulatory body swept it under the carpet, said it didn't happen. And so these videos that I'm doing for you guys to educate you about what goes on in real estate is essentially because the regulatory body won't do anything about it. And I've looked at this situation and said the only way this gets fixed, the only way that we put a stop to this, is to educate you guys, the public. So we're gonna pop inside here and do a quick little interview with the homeowner that got taken advantage of, and then we are going to pop up in the attic space and show you the defect that was marginalized to help sell the house. This collusive behavior that goes on in real estate goes on every day in every jurisdiction across North America, and it doesn't stop until somebody like myself starts bringing attention to it so that people know that it goes on and therefore they can protect themselves. So let's pop inside and have a little chat with the homeowner. Okay guys, I'm sitting in the house here with the homeowner, and the attic had a structure fire in it. And Mike, what did the home inspector say last summer when you had the home inspection and he disclosed that there was fire damage in the attic space?
He had told me at the time that there was lots of meat left yet, that it would be fine.
Okay, so basically he marginalized the defect. He disclosed it to you, but he said that there was nothing wrong with it. It could just be the way that it was, right, without any repairs, correct?
Right.
Okay, and when we met later on, a couple months down the road last summer in 2024, when I came over to, because you guys started finding some other stuff that, you know, didn't get reported on and whatnot, so you guys had me come over. When we spoke and you disclosed to me about the fire damage in the attic, what did I tell you?
That he shouldn't have said that I should be getting a structural engineer.
So basically I said to you that the proper recommendation for a home inspector in that scenario was to seek the advice of a structural engineer, because a home inspector doesn't possess the accreditation to make the statements that he made.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, and when you ended up speaking to a structural engineer, Mike, what did he say to you?
After I'd actually talked to him, and he was going to come out from Regina to look at the house, and after I had told him about a fire in the attic at one time, I didn't know when it was, he said, well, there's no sense in me even coming out because there's no way it'll pass.
So basically he had, you know, verbally stated over the phone that it's basically tear it down, tear it off, and rebuild the whole roof.
Yes.
So the roof has to come off your whole house.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And lastly, Mike, why did you agree to do this video here with me today?
I don't want to see anybody else get burned like this, or worse, possibly. And it's just not right.
Yeah, it isn't. And we kind of just were talking here before we started this video, and we kind of just, the two of us, agreed that we're probably looking at roughly around $30,000 to repair this.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, so major defect that was marginalized, and now you're basically stuck with the bill for it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks, Mike, for letting me do this here with you today. Now we're going to head up into the attic space so you guys can actually see the fire damage. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're up here in this attic space where the fire damage was observable, and the inspector had mentioned something about it. However, he said that it was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. There was still lots of wood left, which is not permissible for a home inspector to do, to make that sort of recommendation. So as you can see here, there's quite a bit of black, but the worst part here, where you can see it's actually lost quite a bit of its meat, is right here. Right here, that doesn't look good, obviously, and then right here as well. So like I said, in this situation, structural engineer is required. Okay guys, I just want to put a little recap on the events that unfolded there during the video. And what actually went on here was the home inspector that made the observation stated to Mike there, that you guys saw in the interview, stated that, you know, there was a fire at one point in time. However, don't worry about it, there's lots of meat left. The problem is, and most you buyers or sellers, all of you consumers out there, you guys don't realize that a home inspector actually doesn't possess the accreditation to make that statement, and neither does a carpenter for that matter. The only individual is a structural engineer. So the home inspector's responsibility in that scenario situation is to make a recommendation to seek further advice from a specialist like a structural engineer. So when it comes to report writing, the acronym CRW, Condition Recommendation Warning, is what typically should be used when you're trying to convey information to a client in a report. There's lots of different variations that dumb that down to, you know, not be so direct. I've seen that a lot with report writing. However, during training, inspectors are trained to use the CRW when writing recommendations. So in the scenario for the fire damage in that attic space, the CRW, Condition Recommendation Warning, should typically be worded: fire damage was observed in the attic space. It is recommended that you seek the advice of a structural engineer to prevent further structural deterioration or further, you know, structural failure, et cetera, et cetera. That is how that should be worded. So the home inspector in this situation didn't do his job. And the reason that he didn't do his job is because he looks at the situation and says, well, I need to help the realtor sell the house. Otherwise, they're not going to refer me out in the future. And I'm going to have to battle them to retain clients, which is the situation that I've been in for the last 13 years. And I've got lots of videos in the future that are going to, you know, show you guys how that all works and whatnot. On top of that, I got a lot of videos in regards to the sloughing of defects by other inspectors, the marginalization of other defects. So we got lots of videos in regards to this one particular situation, but this was a unique situation that I wanted to get out to you guys today, because the homeowner who was the buyer about a year ago agreed to actually come on video with me, which is a little unusual. It also helps you guys see that, hey, this stuff is actually going on. So as always, knowledge is power. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you on episode 4.